Hello, welcome to the show. This is Real to Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton. With me this week is Sergio. How you doing, my man?
Doing well. Looking
my
forward
goodness.
to actually a few of the next weeks. We're gonna be together.
I know. I am ridiculously. Hold on, I gotta hide this for a second. I just saw I have a spelling. I don't know what I was thinking.
I didn't even notice.
No, I noticed. There we go. Yes, we've got this one, and then next week we've got Superman.
Yeah.
We've got this one with a streamer, and then next week we're gonna do Superman with a streamer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we've got a very, we've got a regimented way to do this now, like just
Yeah.
movie and streamer.
And then I think we have a week off, and then I get to come back a third time. So I don't know,
Yeah,
man. Maybe I should just join you. So,
doors always open for you. Honestly, I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to do that too, just because of how relieved I think you were when you finally stepped away. So like I have memories of that, and I want this to be something that you want to do,
oh
not
yeah,
that
no,
you feel like
absolutely.
you have to do. So
And it's nice. The challenge has always been, not always, but the challenge became, going to the movies every week.
right.
And now it's like when I do go, I don't know, Paul. I feel kind of like bad that people just aren't. They don't seem to be going to the movies.
No.
It's like that trend has continued.
Although this past weekend people definitely showed up
Did
because
they?
yeah.
I saw
From
your thought about that because you said mega, and I thought you were being sarcastic. So
no.
did this movie? Well, I'll
Yeah.
let you. I'll let you.
So I mean, so from let me actually I didn't anticipate diving too deep into this, but since we're doing it, let's
It
do
was
it.
such a curious part. I thought you were being sarcastic.
No. Okay. So weekend, just Friday to Sunday.
Okay.
Uh and I'll just throw in context. F1 did 55 million last week.
Okay.
What do you think Friday to Monday? And I'll even give you another hint. F1 did 25 million this weekend, Friday to Monday.
Okay.
So this week, what do you think weekend, what do you think Jurassic World Rebirth did?
I'm gonna say it beat F1
Sure.
75.
92
It did not do 92.
92 million. Wednesday. So keep in mind it was released on Wednesday.
Right.
And it had some, so early it really released on
Sure.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday to Sunday.
Okay.
Keeping in mind people only had off Friday.
Right.
Unless they took vacation days, which is, and kids were able to do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Right.
What did so basically where does Jurassic World Rebirth stand right now? Keeping in mind it did 92 million opening weekend.
Currently?
Yeah.
Has it? I mean, I'm gonna guess it didn't clear 100.
My guy, not only did it clear 100, it almost cleared 150. It's at 147.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, because I have to say this. Surely week 2, Paul.
Yeah.
Word of mouth. There's gonna be a drop off.
You're spoiling it. Let's not do a spoiler alerts just yet. But let's just say that if Superman can't knock Jurassic Park down to 30 million, I will be very surprised.
That factor. There's definitely gonna be that factor. Yeah, because I think yeah. What bugs me about those numbers is that means people went in with high hope.
Okay. Do you think so? Because the reviews weren't good, so people had to have known at least on some level. On some level, a certain number of those 147 million dollars worth of people had to know.
Sure.
What we're walking into is not going to be.
I would argue that that's a lower percentage because they don't tend to pay attention to things like that the way you and I do.
Interesting. All right. I mean, all right. Well, I guess we'll find out. All right.
No.
I'm throwing an audible here. Like that, I didn't tell you about this. I need some positivity out of this podcast, and rather than saving it for the end, we're going to start with the positivity.
Oh, okay.
How fucking excited were you to see the Odyssey trailer in front of this movie?
Well, so it was just a teaser.
Correct.
And I didn't know how to feel. And here's why. I'm a big fan
I know
of the literature.
we did a podcast about this already.
Right. So did it make me curious? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
Christopher
I don't know.
Nolan doing it, my guy.
Yeah, I know. And that's why that's the only reason I have a shred of hope that there's going to
John
come.
Bernthal in the trailer. Like,
Right.
you know,
that,
we see
that,
3 people.
Yeah.
One of them is John Bernthal in a role that is obviously going to only have him in the movie for one scene. But he's so fucking good in that one scene.
Right. But it was like, okay, so this is so dumb. Me, not the movie trailer. John Bernthal is a character actor. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
But let's admit, he's a character actor.
Sure.
That is so distinct.
Yes.
That I'm like, I don't know.
No, I know.
I don't know.
I loved it. If
I'm buying, but I love John Bernthal. You know.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Tom Holland was the other.
Tom Holland was the other one, and then we saw.
I'm already confused.
We saw did not hear Matt Damon. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now we have to start the unpleasantness. The first movie we're going to cover is Jurassic World Rebirth. There's 2 things that we have to do.
Yeah.
That I have to do. I have to read you. I have to read you for the audience what I sent you in the middle of this movie. The message I sent you in the middle of the movie.
Okay.
And the other thing I have to do is a rant about the main plot of this movie. So the text I sent you is basically going to lead to a rant on the secondary plot of the movie. Yep. And then I have a similar rant on the main plot of the movie. And I just don't know. Like, should I start with either one of those? Should we get into it first and then do the ranting, or how do you want to do
the same point either way? So
yeah,
chef's choice.
Okay. I'm going to do my rant on the main plot of the movie.
Okay. Good.
So first, let's establish what the main plot of the movie is. There's a corporate guy, played by somebody who is not, what's his name from The Lord of the Rings, but looks like him, and the elf. Anyway.
Yeah.
So corporate guy, pharmaceutical company corporate guy. So not just corporate guy, but really bad corporate guy.
Right.
Like the only way he could be worse if he was insurance company corporate guy. Like, could you imagine if they made this? The insurance company wants to not have to pay off on the policy on the park, which, by the way, would have been a better idea than what this movie gave us. But that's we're not quite there yet. Pharmaceutical corporate guy informs mercenary Scarlett Johansson, who was fantastic in this movie, that
did you say that? Fantastic?
I really like Scarlett Johansson in this movie, but she's the only thing that I liked in this movie.
It's not her fault.
It's not her fault. Corporate guy is trying to get Scarlett Johansson to go to the backup Jurassic Park island. So it's the island that we visited before. We've been to this island before, I believe, during the 3rd movie, or was it the 2nd one? I don't remember. It doesn't
somewhere
matter.
Along the way.
Yeah, in either 2 or 3, we are introduced to the idea that there is a second backup island, and I think it's 3. And so a whole bunch of stuff happens on this backup island, but we find out more about the lore of the backup island between either 2 or 3 and the Jurassic World series, which was basically that they transformed it into the island of Dr. Moreau, or the testing facility for where they're developing their dinosaurs. So during Jurassic World, one of the things that we find out is that they're creating dinosaurs that never existed before. And so this is the facility where they're creating those dinosaurs. And so the main plot of the movie is we need to go to this terrible island that has the worst of the worst dinosaurs, because those worst of the worst dinosaurs are also the biggest dinosaurs. And for some reason that is not clear for any reason whatsoever, only the biggest dinosaurs, the DNA from the biggest dinosaurs, can house the secrets to heart disease
Right.
because their hearts are the biggest.
That sounds like what I understood it to be.
Okay, and so they need to get the DNA from the dinosaurs, and the only way they can. Okay, so again, they need to get the DNA from the dinosaurs. The entire fucking Jurassic Park movie is based off of the idea that the company InGen has been creating these dinosaurs using their DNA.
Right.
So part of InGen's intellectual property is the DNA of these dinosaurs.
Right.
InGen is no more. We can assume, rightfully, I think, that InGen has gone bankrupt, and as part of bankruptcy proceedings, their assets have been sold off, including but not limited to their intellectual property, which would be the DNA sequencing of every fucking dinosaur they created.
Right.
So the DNA, you don't need to go get a fucking sample of the DNA. The DNA sequencing, which is probably easier to deal with than the actual DNA itself,
yep,
is readily available to you as the highest bidder. Or if you don't feel like you want to be if you didn't feel like you wanted to be the highest bidder, or it's not become financially, corporate malfeasance can get it to you also, which sounds a hell of a lot easier and more likely to work than your stupid fucking plot to go to the Forbidden Island.
You thought about this way deeper than I did, and now that you've said that, I'm even more annoyed.
I thought about it the first 5 minutes of the movie. I'm like, this
Okay.
is the concept of this movie. The reason why they're going to this island is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. And then the movie continued and did not decide to put any additional thought or anything behind it.
Right.
So that's what we're starting off with. The dumbest idea for a movie ever. This whole movie is just so stupid, Sergio.
Oh yeah, no, you're not going to get a disagreement from me.
The guy who wrote Jurassic Park 1 and 2 wrote this one, and it kind of feels like it, because if you were somebody who wrote a movie 30 years ago, God bless you, but I don't think that you're going to still be writing really great movies.
No, and for me, the thing that was most disappointing is that this is from the same director, Gareth Edwards, who gave us Rogue One.
Yeah. And the creator, which I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plot notwithstanding, because that's you make a great point there. I hadn't thought. The reason I didn't go that deep is because I was so annoyed by just everything that the surface of the movie gives us.
Okay.
This is one of the few times, and this is me being very transparent, this is one of the few times that I could identify. We often talk about this storyline could have just been not present.
Right.
And this is one of those rare moments where I'm like, I bet Paul's going to say this. Yeah. The family.
Yeah.
Because number one, dumbest family ever.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of the whole thing. Like you could project who would be the first to die.
Yeah.
You could project almost in the order that it was going to, like, it has every trope.
Yeah.
And it just was so predictable. And that Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali had to say some of the lines that he said.
Yeah.
Was just downright embarrassing.
I know.
I get Scarlett Johansson. I get what you're saying. She was great in the movie, but again, you could feel the weight of what she was doing on her.
Yeah.
And that's just when you get that vibe from the film, already you're right when you're thinking this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm about 3/4 of the way. I almost walked out.
That's shocking to me.
So tempted.
That's shocking to me.
I'm like, I've seen enough to know.
Yeah.
How many tacos is not going to
get? Yeah, it's not getting 5. I'll be surprised if it gets 5 between the two of us. That would be shocking to me.
Yeah,
that would be shocking to me.
But here's my question to you then.
Yes.
What were they going for? Like, given the life of the franchise.
I just told you what they were like. You mean literally or
No, I
the
mean, literally,
franchise?
what were the filmmakers thinking they were going to
Oh,
accomplish with
yeah.
such a basic bullet hole ridden plot
No.
and such paper characters?
Yeah.
I mean, they were just, dude, I'm very forgiving,
Yeah.
but I couldn't
You really
because it
are.
was so predictable. It was so,
Okay.
I don't
What
know.
were
I
they?
mean,
Yeah.
was this just another money grab, which
I'm
is obviously
assuming.
working?
I'm assuming. I'm assuming you're not being rhetorical when you say what were they going for, because I think it's a valid question. And
Yeah.
I think what happened was the third one, while successful
Mhm.
financially, like let's just
You're talking
be
about the third
uh
Jurassic Park?
Jurassic, no, not the third Jurassic Park, the third Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Dominion.
That was the third one?
That was the third Jurassic World movie. So
Really?
there was Jurassic World. There was Jurassic World. Oh, criminy.
Oh
The
my
one
god.
before World Dominion. Uh,
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. Right.
This was the fourth one.
Yeah. So then there was Jurassic World Dominion, which came out
I
in
always forget
2022.
about Fallen Kingdom.
Okay, I thought Fallen Kingdom is better than World Dominion. Like for
Oh,
Fallen Kingdom,
definitely.
yeah, like
Yeah.
had the moment on the dock where the volcano's going off. It's really
Yeah.
fucking sad. Like a genuinely like crushing moment in the
Oh
in
yeah.
the in the movies. But World Dominion did amazing, $1 billion worldwide in 2022, post pandemic, $1 billion,
Wow.
but was left a bad taste in people's mouth. I think it wasn't like people didn't feel like, oh, this is up to snuff. And
Okay.
I think they just wanted to do a reboot as quickly and as
Mm,
like just flat out as quickly as humanly possible. And it feels like they just wanted to do a reboot as quickly as humanly possible with a new cast so they could bring back the main three, Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson, and the guy that was not Glenn Powell but was supposed to be Glenn Powell, except Glenn Powell, thank God, decided to do Running Man, which you and I are absolutely going to be doing because
yeah,
we're
absolutely.
reading the books. So so they wanted something to they wanted like a new, they probably wanted a new trilogy with those three. I based on the fact that it made 140 million during its first week, I gotta figure it's gonna get to 300 local and probably 400 international.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's bad enough because the World Dominion did $1 billion to not make the sequel, or good enough to say, you know what, we can go ahead and do a sequel. Like, I don't know. I just don't know anymore.
Yeah,
I just don't
I'm
know
really going to be curious to see what the numbers look like in the next 2 weeks
Yeah.
because there's word of mouth is real,
Yeah.
and I just think that people are going to talk about what a stinker it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see, but yeah, no, the overall thing for me is just every time you thought it was at a low, it just kept
Just like,
going. I mean,
hold my
the
beer.
whole the whole crisis of conscience
Yeah.
um that was introduced by that, not Glenn Powell. Um, and there's just so
It
many
was so
holes at
paper
the end.
thin.
Like,
It was so paper thin, that
right,
scene.
and not only that, when I have to sit there and go, "Oh yeah, how are you going to do that?"
Yeah.
When I'm sarcastically, poo-pooing your plot or your plan, I'm sorry, for what you're going to do now that you've gotten a hold of. There's so many things that people are going to come after them
Yeah.
for having for having the sample. Yeah, it was just like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
What is truly happening here?
Just so the rant that I gave about the main plot is not something that most people are going to pick up on. Like, it's
Right.
such a dumb nerd gripe about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
main plot. Like, you need to know something about bankruptcies, like you need to understand about intellectual property and
Right,
things
right,
like
right.
that. But the problem is that it's so obvious and so, like, I don't, for somebody, if you give it any amount of thought, but
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do the other gripe
Yes,
fest.
please, because that
Because
one people will
yeah,
relate to.
so in the middle of the movie, I send you a message, and I said, I'm in the middle of the movie, and I'm so fucking annoyed that I have to spend one more minute with this stupid fucking family. Why could the T-Rex not have nabbed the dad or all four?
Yeah.
Now, the other kudo I want to give to the movie, because there are some things that totally work on the movie, is the introduction of the T-Rex into this movie.
Yeah.
Not the use of the T-Rex once he's introduced, but the
Right.
way they introduced
How
the
he comes up.
T-Rex was really creative.
I agree.
I really liked it. But also it involved this fucking family who were rescued by our mercenaries when the father was dumb fucking enough to take his family straight through dinosaur infested waters, which are
Right.
known internationally to be the dinosaur infested waters. And
Yeah.
that's just the path that my family is going to do, this trip from Barbados to Cape Town that we've done
We're
so
on
many
vacation.
times before. And we're going to be on our stupid little bullshit sailboat. And this is what I want to do. And I'm going to dislike my boyfriend, my daughter's boyfriend, who's banging my daughter. And she pretty much says as much.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hated all of them.
There's so much wrong with it.
Even the little girl. I hated that stupid fucking little
That's
girl.
so funny.
Kids in peril will work for me if I don't hate the kids.
Right.
I hated all the kids in this movie.
Yeah.
And like, just actively dislike them on every level. And it's a half-hour plot in the movie. They just them on screen without anybody else take up at least 30 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
If you remove them, now you have a 90-minute movie. So really, we're talking about a 90-minute movie that they stretched over 2 hours just to have kids in peril. And it doesn't work. Unfortunately, I have read a couple of reviews on Letterboxd where people are like, "Oh, I actually preferred the family storyline to the science one." It's like, I can't even comprehend that.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I have gone on record as saying this is one of the worst subplots in any movie I've seen ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And not just like unnecessary, because I could list like 2 or 3 other unnecessary, but like just actively bad that takes away from the movie. Like,
right.
I'm flat out telling you, I am knocking an entire taco off of this movie. just because of the family. Just if they didn't have the family at all and they presented me with a 90-minute movie, this movie would get an extra taco from what I'm about to give it.
Yeah. It was, and again, it's the same thing as what I said before. It's a poorly written plot line.
Yeah,
it isn't necessary.
Nope.
What like you said, it stands. The movie stands on its own without it.
Right.
When I question the intelligence of a father right from the outset, yeah. I'm not even feeling bad about the kids being in peril.
Right.
Because I'm like, you brought this on your family. I couldn't stand the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because again, it was written so poorly because
and here's the thing is he is absolutely traditionally, in capital letters, first letter, somebody who will die.
Right.
Like, if you were to write so the running joke throughout the movie is, oh, is this where he's going to die? Right. No. Oh, is this where he's gonna die? No. And then he lives to the end. And it's like, I just wanted him to fucking die.
Yeah, he spoke, and I thought, okay, good, he's gonna die at some point.
Yeah.
And it just kept going.
And then they never
it was such low-hanging fruit humor.
Yeah.
That it was that's the thing. It was annoying every time the family was on screen. Even the action sequences. Yeah. The whole thing with the T-Rex had the potential for being an exciting action sequence.
Yeah.
But you were left the whole time you're going, I hope they do get eaten by the T-Rex, because how dumb do you have to be to even be in this scenario? And
let's just be clear. There is nothing that happens to this family that you couldn't have also happen to
any of the other characters.
Main characters of the
Absolutely.
movie.
Yeah. Here's my, like, where I literally was like, I need to leave this movie theater right now because I was so annoyed when the T-Rex is coming after the little girl,
Yeah.
and the father is like screaming in agony but makes no move whatsoever.
Yeah.
To try and save her. Like, those are the kind of things that, to me,
Yeah.
it takes me completely out of the action sequence.
And the fact that they teased that they were going to kill the boyfriend multiple times at this
Over and
point.
over. Yeah.
And then the boyfriend's safe, the annoying older daughter is safe, and the dad is safe. The daughter is the youngest is the one that's in peril with the T-Rex.
Right.
And the idea that I'm supposed to, one, give a shit, which I don't, but okay, let's assume for a second that I do. And two, I'm even remotely concerned that they're going to kill this little girl is laughable.
Yeah.
It's just completely this girl was not in peril. Why? Right. Because even the shitty ass boyfriend wasn't in peril.
Right. And when I say, just when you think it hits the lowest point, it gets even worse.
Yeah.
The boat survives.
I know.
And the oars as well.
Yeah, the oars surviving was stupid. I did chuckle at the boat surviving. I did chuckle at the boat surviving. The boat surviving was actually genuinely funny. But it wasn't an earned laugh. I did laugh, but it wasn't an earned laugh.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to laugh when they didn't kill Xavier 2 different times. But I didn't, because I just wanted him to fucking die because I hated the storyline and everybody involved with it.
Yeah, you know how to make the movie better.
Like, you know, you had mentioned you knew what I was going to say, and I'm going to say it. Just be your fucking movie about a fucking thing. Yeah. You don't need to make your movie about multiple things. You just don't need to do it. Agreed. You have a storyline. It's a pretty piss poor storyline to begin with.
Right.
And you've already shoehorned in multiple scenes to make the primary characters you know, endearing or interesting. And those scenes are the scenes between Rashali and Scarjo are so uncomfortable and forced.
Yeah.
But they're really, really they're doing their best with these poorly written.
Oh, absolutely. There's no taking away the talent of those two. But in this movie, it's like, I really wish I could talk to them and go, come on, fess up. Like, just be honest with me. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
You know, while you were doing this. I have to say this before we move on. Again, to the whole notion of the predictability of who is going to die and when.
Yeah.
The guy, I can't think of his name, but he was the one that was the mercenary with all the weapons.
Yes, from Deadpool, the original Deadpool movie.
Yes. Once he started firing that gun, I'm like, oh, here we go. Any moment now. It's like, they were all cookie cutter characters.
Yeah.
That were just brought into a frame to do their thing, and then they were gone.
Yep.
It's just, this movie annoyed the crap out of me.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so
that
annoying.
we have spent 28 minutes and 46 seconds on it.
We need to warn people. People need to be warned.
Yeah.
Go see F1. If you're thinking next week, I don't want to go see Superman, but I do want to go see a movie. Go see F1. F1's a really fun movie. Just go see F1.
I am curious about that one for sure.
It's really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Excellent.
Unlike this one.
It looks great.
So here at Really Real Talk, we provide tacos instead of stars. And if we feel like something deserves a little extra, we will add guac to our rating. Why do we do guac instead of a half a taco? Because nobody eats a half a fucking taco. All right, Sergio, you're first. Where are you landing on this?
This is me being generous.
I know.
This is one taco.
Oh, wow.
I felt very insulted by this film.
Okay.
And it gets a taco, but it's like a Taco Bell taco.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am giving it one Taco Bell taco and $5 guac that is not guac, but just tomato, avocado flavored paste.
You're generous.
And I am being generous. No, but genuinely, this is a gorgeous movie. Like, the visually.
Yeah, I can give you that.
It is just, you know, some of the scenes are genuinely eye popping, jaw dropping, and how beautiful this movie is. I wasn't that mad about the main plot. Like I only got I was mad up front, but then once I was mad up front, I was just like, okay, well, this is what they're doing.
Gotcha.
So,
You were able to
you know,
separate from it. Okay.
I was just like, okay, fine. And the
That's
set
normally
pieces,
me.
the set pieces were the ones without the family, the set pieces were
You're
really
sure.
good.
Okay.
The
I
the
get
set
that.
pieces were really good. So I am giving it the guac. Just
Gotcha.
but genuinely, like if the family hadn't been in it and they gave all those set pieces to the main characters, this is a two tacos
It might have
plus
been two
guac
tacos
movie.
for me, yeah.
Because it's a two tacos plus guac movie because I had just been like, look, it's a bad movie. It's not something I'm ever going to watch again, but I'm not mad at it. I was mad at this movie.
Now that I
was,
know it's 7 films,
Yeah.
I will say what I said to Jen when I got home. I told her 2 things because she asked
Yeah.
me how was it. I said, I'll tell you what, my eyes hurt from how often I rolled them.
Yeah.
And secondly, Jurassic anything has entered the realm of the Fast Furious thing.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not quite as bad,
Yeah.
but
Where you're just dreading to go
it's
if you
getting
go.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll just be upfront with you. I'm never gonna be like, hey, the new Jurassic movie's coming out. Do you want to go? Do you want to review it? I'm never gonna that's not one that I'm gonna lay on you. Like if you come to me and say, hey, I want to do it. All right. The other movie we're doing is The Old Guard 2. You and I, this is another one where we did the original Old Guard movie. So
Absolutely.
and I think we both really liked it. If
We did.
I remember having a conversation about how this is genuinely one of the better Netflix movies.
Absolutely.
And to this day, it remains one of the better Netflix movies. I even rewatched it, and while there were some parts of it where like, you know what, maybe I was a little generous to this. In general, I still enjoyed it. Like the plotting is a little weaker than what I remember, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
Now,
I was surprised to find out that there was 5 years between these 2 films.
yeah,
And there's not even a time jump.
right.
But
They don't say what the time jump is. Let's assume that there's a time jump because they jump into a new,
but
the
they
movie.
do comment in the film that it's been about 6 months.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
it's not a big time jump.
Okay.
But what I was going to say was the distance between the 2 did cause me to have to rewatch a summary video because I wasn't ready to go back and watch the whole thing. I just
Okay.
needed like sort of kickstart.
Yeah.
It was like a 5-minute video. I was 2 minutes and going, okay, yeah. It's and I remembered how much I enjoyed it. So,
yeah. I rewatched the whole thing. Like I
Okay.
did rewatch the whole thing,
Nice.
and because I went and looked at what I gave it. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it.
Gotcha.
So 4 tacos, I should say. Sorry. Branding. So if I were to re-rate it, and I'm not going to do that, like I stick with my original gut. But if I would do 3 tacos plus guac at this point, like
Okay,
just
yeah.
after upon review. Old Guard 2, it's a sequel. The end of the first one set us up for a sequel.
Absolutely.
Here we go. We got it. Joining the cast is none other than Uma Thurman as sort of a bad guy that came out of left field. And anyway, what did you think of Old Guard 2? What?
I did enjoy it. I
Okay.
really, really did enjoy it, and so did Jen.
Okay.
Which action movies, when she's the one that says you need to watch this, I'm excited.
Oh, okay.
I loved the addition of Uma Thurman, but my only question was, I wonder if they just felt like the story wouldn't be able to be held up by the actress that played Quinn.
Right.
Like you needed a big name.
Yeah.
I wasn't even mad about where we were left.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this movie. One of the things I loved most was the development of the character of Niall.
Yeah.
I didn't even roll my eyes at
Okay.
the concept.
Okay.
And in hindsight, I was like, how am I feeling about that for real?
Yeah.
But no, it was just such a captivating picture, and I loved how they kept up the humanity of these characters and their group. The reach back to the character from the first film that got exiled. Like I loved all of it. It just flowed so well. And this is one of those rare times when a sequel continues the feel of the first film,
right,
and you really just go with it. You're on this adventure, and you're like, all right, let's see where this goes. And it never got like too over the top. I mean, it's got great action sequences, but it didn't stray too far to a like supernatural place in terms of anything. In other words, everything was very relatable.
Yeah.
And one of the things I loved about the first film was the way in which the characters were just so, despite their immortality, they weren't treated like superhumans. They were just people in this circumstance.
Yeah.
And that I think that carried over very nicely through this film. And Charlize Theron, why did I think she was older? She only turns 50 next month. And I feel like she's I mean, I went to her filmography, which her first films were in like 1996.
Yeah.
Devil's Advocate 1997.
Believe me, Devil's Advocate is a formational film for 20-something Paul.
Yeah, I get you. But to see where she's gone and to where she is now, and you just, I mean, I love it. I think that, and one day we're going to talk about Liam Neeson and his turn towards action, but and the reason I bring him up is because Charlize Theron maintained both the action chops, but the acting as well.
Okay.
And I just really felt like this was another great vehicle for her.
Yeah.
But the ensemble is really what made me love this film as much as the first one.
Okay. I'm gonna have to rain on the parade a little bit. I'm sorry.
Of course.
So here's my thoughts on it. And this movie, like the original movie, one of the really enjoyable things about the original movie is that it really is very simple. It's there are these immortal people. We're not going to dive too deep into the what, where, and why.
Right.
But they are driven to right wrongs. Chiwetel Ejiofor discovers that the wrongs that they are righting generations down the road have unexpected positive effects, like so the person that they save today, 2 generations down, one of their great grandkids, whatever, does something amazing, does something that the world would have been less for. And that is all that's introduced in the original movie.
Right.
I wish this explored that.
Okay.
I really wish this explored, because we didn't get that until the very end of the movie. Fantastically too, by the way. Like that, the thing that really works in one is it's really just a movie about, so there's a pharma company that thinks, hey, they're, who finds out that there are immortal people, and we think we can exploit that. And that's the movie. That's just the movie, and then they seed in this thing where Chiwetel Ejiofor is like, hey, you know what? This is the real result of what you're doing. And these people are micro, don't see the macro, and Chiwetel Ejiofor just sees the macro and is fantastic in bringing that to their realization. And so the motivations for the characters are very much micro, and then like, okay, cool, let's have one of these movies where it becomes macro, and like they actually start wondering about the macro effects of what they're doing. That's kind of what I was really excited for. And then, but instead, what they do is they decide to world build.
Sure.
And that's okay. That's what they decide. And one of the things I've said it so many times before, that's the movie the filmmakers wanted to make. So I'm going to meet them on their terms and go ahead and review the film that they made. And I'm just going to say, I'm not against Uma Thurman being the baddie in this movie. But my question is, does the world building work? Because that's the movie they're making. They're making this world building movie. And for me, it didn't. The world building didn't work at all. Introducing the, So one of the things they established in the first movie is we have these dreams about the other immortals, and now there's these two other immortals that they're not dreaming about, and why are they not dreaming? Like, but we're just gonna gloss over that and be like, ah, fuck that. We don't, they don't dream about them. We don't need to worry about that. But they're the two oldest immortals, but fuck. No, we're not.
And I will tell you that I did make that connection, but to your point, I was just like, I'm fine with it. Like,
yeah. Okay. See, I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't. I
Okay.
I was just like, no, this. Where is it? I mean, unless they wanted to like establish that, at any given time there are 4 different pods or something like that, and so these are, and you only dream about the immortals, and like establish that, oh no, actually there's way more than just the 4 of you out there. It's
Yep.
just that you just know about the 4 because you're the ones that were meant to be like, if you're going to world build, that's awesome. World build, there has to be some continuity. There has to be some way for it to make sense. And then what they did with the Niles character, where it's like, oh, Uma Thurman was the first immortal, and now she's the last immortal. It's like, what? Why?
How do you know?
Yeah. Why? Just because this one book said that's the legend, and it's where did that book come from? Why is there a legend about it? Who know what? It just, the world building didn't work for me at all, and that was the main thrust of this movie, and so this movie just didn't work for me.
Yeah, and again, the reason I felt I'm this is always going to be the thing between you and I is like, I didn't even worry too much about the world building aspect of the film. I just enjoyed the film for what it was doing.
Yeah, but what
I
get
get completely what you're saying, because it does beg the question: where does this go in the hopefully sequel? And because there's going to be some kind of immortal council we're going to meet.
Yeah, or so, yeah. I mean, which is okay, but like, start building that in this movie.
Sure,
like,
sure.
Like there's so many things that got left unbuilt in the, the world. If you're gonna world build, don't make the world building leave gaping holes in everything that you did in priors. It's just like, oh my god, like they needed somebody to go through and be like, continuity issue, issue. And I just felt like, by the end of it, I'm just like, Uma Thurman just felt like a paper thin baddie, like, it's just,
they're saving her for whatever's next.
Obviously. So, but anyway, I didn't hate it. It just was like I really enjoyed the first one. I definitely did not really enjoy this.
Okay, so it didn't live up.
No, not for me. But go ahead, Sergio. Where for you it clearly did, and
I wish I could remember you wouldn't happen to remember what I said.
I just knew because I letterboxed it. So.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, I did enjoy this movie. I did enjoy it. I wrestled with giving it 4, but I'm gonna be 3 tacos plus guac.
Okay.
It was just very entertaining, and it did make me want to go see the first one completely again.
Yeah.
And so,
good.
And I do look forward to, hopefully there'll be a 3rd installment.
Yeah. I'm glad this made you want to watch the first one again, because you really should, because the first one's actually really good.
It's So that's
this is 2 plus guac. I don't, even if they're assuming there is a 3rd one, and there almost certainly will be, I can't fathom that I'll be like, oh, I need to go watch 2 again. Like, I'll probably just watch 1 again and just be like, okay, that's good enough for me. There we are, Sergio. We're coming back next week with Superman. Thoughts on Superman? Do you have your tickets yet?
I do. In fact, Nick and I are going to an early screening tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
is it an IMAX early screening, or?
I don't think it's IMAX. No, okay. He's got the tickets, but I don't think it's IMAX. What are your because I'm not super excited. In fact, there was a point, I think, where you and I spoke that I wasn't really interested in going to see this or Fantastic Four, but now I've got to do both because Nick gets tickets, and then he tells me.
Yeah.
And so, how are you feeling about this?
Well, Superman, I'm not remotely excited at all, just because the DC movies haven't given me any reason to think that there's any reason for excitement. And I don't know that James Gunn's typical, style fits Superman.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be wrong. And, I'm absolutely willing to enjoy this movie. But I am skeptical.
I'm apprehensive. Yeah.
I'm skeptical only because I know for a fact that they are introducing multiple characters in this movie, and I don't know why. I don't know what the point is of introducing at least 3 other good guys in a movie about Superman.
Yeah.
Like I just, if that's what you want to do, call it Justice League. You know, call it Justice League Redux, and just say we're sorry for the last one. It sucked. Here, we're gonna do this over again. And you know, and it's not going to be a 3.5 hour epic turd fest like the Justice League Snyder cut was. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it next week.
We will. We could like it. Who knows?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Sergio. It's wonderful to see you.
I appreciate it, Paul.
Can you sign us off for me, please?
Absolutely. As always, we thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you continue going to the movies and having some fun. And don't forget, we always say, you're awesome, you're amazing, and the world's a better place because you are in it.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you guys.